Hello gardeners, and thank you for joining us for Mid-American Gardener. We're going to talk about plants and have a great time, maybe talking about bugs too, I don't know for sure, but we're glad that you've joined us. I'm Diane Nolan and I teach horticulture at the University of Illinois in the Crop Sciences Department in the College of Aces. So I'll talk about maybe cut flower questions, perennials, something along those lines, but there are three highly intelligent people here. Let's find out who they are, and if you gear your questions towards their expertise, it'll be such a great show. Let's start first with Chuck Voigt. Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Diane. I am Chuck Voigt. I am in horticulture in the Crop Sciences Department also. My specialty is vegetables and herbs, but I can also cover some fruit crops and some other things if need be. I have a question, and it's as the season starts to turn. Now that summer is over, what are some winter, fall vegetable crops we can plant now?
Good question.
Well, and we're talking mid-September area, and so there's not a lot of season left. But if we have fairly normal fall, short season things, spring radishes, lettuces, spinach. Spinach is interesting. If you let the spinach seeds just sit out in warm weather, they tend to develop a dormancy. So it's better to store them in a cold place or to freeze them in an ice cube tray before you're ready to sow them. Because if you put them into too warm a soil, they're kind of conditioned not to grow in those conditions. The nice thing about spinach is with a little protection, most winters you can overwinter it and get some really spectacular spinach the following spring. Some other things you might do. You might, with a really early variety, get root turnips, certainly turnip greens, mustard greens, things like arugula, garden cress. All of those things I think we could still do. They like the cooler temperatures as we go into fall. And even if you can offer them a little bit of protection with a row cover or bales of straw on each side of the row or something, you can get those maybe as long as I don't know what, Thanksgiving maybe, depending on how the temperatures fall.
And then you can go out and harvest sage, up until usually Thanksgiving. Other things, not basil.
No, I think the basil is going to turn any day now as
it
we
does
get these
seem
cold
like
nights.
There's a chance. Oh, that's a lot of choices for people. So thank you very much, Chuck. And now we're going to go next to the lady in the middle, Jennifer Fishburne.
Yes, I'm a horticulture educator with the University of Illinois Extension, specifically in Logan, Menard, and Sangamon counties, and I also manage two of our volunteer programs, Master Gardeners and Master Naturalists. Tonight, my show and tell is fall anemone, and this is probably one of my favorite late summer plants. This has been blooming the whole month of August, still blooming. It's looking a little bit spent in places, but it's still got some nice color, and the foliage stays a really nice green as well. So this is a good perennial for full sun, might take a little part shade. The plant itself gets about 18 inches, and then in flower it can be 2.5, 3 feet. Depending on where it's at, but just fills in really nicely. Just a plant that I adore, and it comes in other colors as well.
It is very nice. It looks
and
really
this
good.
is kind of past its prime almost, but it's still growing strong. It's been blooming about, I'd say, at least 5 weeks.
And that's a long time for a perennial.
That is a long time for a perennial.
This year has been good in that the season's been a little cooler and things have been longer, almost like in England. Okay, almost like. All right, thank you, Jennifer. And now we're going to go next to the person to my left, Dr. Phil Nixon. Hi, Phil.
Hi, I'm an extension entomologist with the University of Illinois, so I answer bug questions. And so tonight I want to talk about an insect outbreak that we're seeing in southern part of Illinois, likely also in Indiana and Ohio and so on, and that is fall armyworm. And this insect will come on as caterpillars in large numbers. They're dark caterpillars. You can kind of recognize them by an inverted Y shape right at their head, which is on the screen right now. And these will show up and feed on. We're finding them feeding primarily on Bermuda grass and tall fescue. They will feed on Kentucky bluegrass. we are seeing the eggs all the way up to the Chicago area, and so they are likely to show up anywhere, but where we're seeing them the most is the St. Louis area, Greenville, Centralia, and essentially overnight they can eat all of the green grass off of your yard and you've got a brown lawn. If you control the caterpillars and give it some irrigation, those crowns will sprout new blades off. If you kind of forget about it, the caterpillars will sit there and eat all the green blades that come up, and sooner or later the crowns die, and then you have to reseed or resod. So this is a new insect that we don't have every time. It's actually a tropical insect. It only overwinters in the U.S. around Brownsville, Texas, the very southern tip of Texas, and southern Florida. It moves northward every year. The moths can fly 100 miles or so a night, and we've got them up in this area this year. We don't normally have it, so it's something different, something new, which really makes my blood run good.
And the rest of us are in horror, hearing
This is neat stuff. You got something
excited.
new. It's
And
neat.
we're all
something
going,
that just eats the
"Oh."
heck out of everything. That is neat.
You should have seen the rest of us the way they were looking. We were going, oh, and he was really excited.
Oh yeah, that's what you live for. Something new and different.
Oh boy, it takes all kinds. Okay.
Even your kind.
Oh, Phil. Well, let's move on and do a special Did You Know right now. Ginkgo is one of the oldest living tree species. Dawn redwood is another ancient species. Both were known in the fossil record before they were found alive. And both great trees, too. Those are really good trees. All right, well, we want to go to the phone lines, and we hope that we'll get a few more callers. We don't have that many right at the moment. Let's talk to Susan on line 1, and it's about rhubarb. Hi, Susan.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I have some rhubarb up in one of the western suburbs of Chicago that I would like to transplant down to this area. And I would like to know the best time to do that and the best way to do it.
Okay.
Okay, well, you're asking at a good time. Fall would be the time that we would normally say was best to do that. Some people like to do it in the spring just as it's first showing, but then you get some stress as it tries to grow. But late summer, early fall, the crown buds are set up for the following year. You can dig around the clump, get down around it, try to save as much of the root tissue as you can. Look at it. If there's lots and lots and lots of crowns, you might want to think about dividing it into more pieces so that it doesn't crowd itself out. Have it out of the ground for as short a time as you can. I know it's a fair drive from Chicago down to central Illinois, but maybe have planting holes already ready when you get down here. Get it in there, cover it, water it in well. Then the roots have a chance to develop through the rest of the fall weather, and then it's usually pretty well established. The one thing you might want to consider is once the soil freezes, you might want to put a little bit of a straw mulch or something over it so that you don't get freezing and thawing, because it's not rooted in really well. It could heave out of the ground. The clayey soils in this part of the Midwest make that worse. So that would be the only downside of transplanting in the fall.
Okay. Well, good. That was great timing on the question, and thank you for that answer. And we're going to go next to Stephanie. She has a tree question on line 2. Hi, Stephanie.
It's a little more complicated than tree, but we're in the process of taking out a garden area between the house and the garage. We just physically can't do it anymore. So I'm thinking what I want is something with a short ornamental grass and then a small tree that'll grow in the drip line of an oak tree. I know that's asking a lot, but is there something that might provide me with a little shade? The oak tree limbs are way, way up. The tree is trimmed up high. So
That's what I was going to ask.
Get to it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the drip line of a trimmed up oak tree, a small tree, and maybe some ornamental grasses.
Does she have any sun for the ornamental grasses?
Yeah, how much sun exposure? What side of the oak tree? Oh no, do we lose her? Okay, so let's do this. Let's pretend.
I'll do the ornamental
Okay,
grass.
do the ornamental grass. Great, Deborah.
That brings us to my next show and tell, which is prairie dropseed. Prairie dropseed is a native prairie plant, and this is my
You need a
all-time.
white paper behind that.
Oh, probably.
I'm
My
looking on the screen and I
all-time
can't see it.
favorite ornamental
That's
grass.
great.
And again, it's a native. This one gets about 18 inches tall. In bloom, it'll get up to about 3 feet or so. And it has right now a buttery popcorn scent, as I would call it. Chuck doesn't agree, but I like the scent of it. It's absolutely beautiful. You can smell it when you walk outside. And then this is one of the grasses that you can leave through the winter, and it will provide some winter interest as well. As far as her tree, you're looking probably for a small and ornamental. I would say maybe a serviceberry or a dogwood or a redbud. Those are good what we call understory trees. They do well in the shade of other trees. So those would be 3 good choices that would stay around that 15 to 20 foot range.
I like little blue stem too.
Oh,
if there's enough sun.
Northern sea oats will stand some shade.
That's
won't
true. You'll have to make sure they don't gallop.
Yeah,
But some shade might keep them from doing that.
it might slow it down, and then you might want to not let them be ornamental through the whole winter. You might want to cut them off and bring them in for artful floral
Thanksgiving
arrangements and those kinds of things, as opposed to
And
letting
they
them
are
drop their
nice.
little seeds all over.
So all of those, and in between the grasses and the tree, I would mulch. I would do the whole area as one.
And there's a fabulous bug tree you could plant
A bug
if
tree.
you can find it.
Okay.
And that's the wafer ash or hop tree, Tilia trifoliata, which is a native understory tree in Illinois and the rest of the Midwest. You probably won't find it in any nursery in the world, but very few. You need to go to a nursery that sells native plants, such as Possibility Place Nursery or Okemos Nursery. And this plant is not only an understory tree, looks kind of like an ash tree, but it also is the host plant for giant swallowtail butterflies, also known as orange dogs. This happens to be in the same family as the citrus, and where it's a pest there, it's really a neat looking butterfly that you'll get associated with that.
Okay.
Spice bush also has.
that's
Spice
true.
bush would also grow in the shade.
Lindera
and you get,
benzoin.
and you're very easy to find in nurseries and garden centers, and produces spice bush swallowtails. Right, not really a tree you can sit under, but a very
A nice
attractive shrub
understory
that you can admire.
that kind of adapts
you
to
can
that
admire.
partial shade.
Gosh, we had all kinds of things. Okay, well, we're going to go to another phone call, and it's on line 4. And this one is Nancy's question about an oak tree. Hi, Nancy.
Hello. I bought an oak tree a few years ago and planted it, and it's grown. And now it was big enough it had acorns on it. Mm-hmm. And the squirrels seemed to eat the branch off just below the acorns, and these bunches of oak leaves would fall down, and then they'd eat the acorns. I had to pick up bunches of oak leaves a number of times. And I'm hoping that when this tree gets bigger branches, the squirrels won't be able to do that. Is that true?
Now, Phil,
Well,
you know, I've seen branches being eaten, but it wasn't from squirrels.
no.
Here it is.
How long are the twigs or branches that you're seeing?
Oh, you know, when you pick them up, makes you think of it like a nosegay, because it's a nice little.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is. I mean,
Okay.
here it comes.
No, it's not a bug. The twig girdler and twig pruner are common on oak trees. They normally clip off branches that are 1 to 3 feet long, so considerably longer than probably what you're talking about. But you will get squirrels that will get, a single squirrel will get in its mind that it's a neat thing to clip things off. And once that squirrel goes to that oak tree in the sky, you probably won't have that problem, and they don't live very long. And hawk or owl will take them out. But typically it's one squirrel that gets in their mind that it's neat to clip off branches, and commonly within a year or two, that squirrel moves on to another geographic location or another spiritual location, and is no longer going to be a problem for you. So very likely with very small ones like that, it likely is squirrels that are clipping off, and it's usually just one squirrel don't wage war against all the squirrels in your yard. It's just one that's got this idea in his mind.
It's the same for other wildlife. Sometimes I'll have deer that will eat on certain things, and then in a few years, nothing touches that. And so these animals have certain taste buds, just like
Right,
humans.
exactly.
And so don't blame it on the whole
And they pick
mass.
up habits like humans do too.
Well, yeah, that's true. And they go back to those same. I don't have any daylilies in this one part of my garden, but I know I will eventually. Okay, well, we're going to follow up. We have another rhubarb question, so we're going to go to line 3, and Levon has a rhubarb question for us. Hi, Levon.
Hi. I'm wanting to also transplant my rhubarb, but I have lots and lots of stalk, still the stalks there. Do you pull them stalks up before you transplant it?
You're talking seed stalks?
No, I'm talking about the rhubarb.
Oh, the leaves.
Leaves.
The leaves,
Petioles.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, from mid-September on, they're not going to do a lot of positive things for the plant anymore. So you could just chop them off, dig it up, divide it if necessary, and replant it. Their job is pretty much done for the season.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you. So we had very thorough discussion on transplanting rhubarb, and yes, it's the time to do it. Well, we're going to just answer a few more email questions and come right back to the phone line. So let's go to you, Chuck.
Well, ironically, the question that I have is about rhubarb.
Are you kidding? Wow. This is
No,
great.
It came in late July, which kind of is a point that will help. Planted rhubarb from a good nursery. It's been doing fine. Haven't touched it. Some of the leaves are yellowing and dropping off. Why is it going dormant? What's going on? Typically in midsummer, rhubarb is going to lose a lot of leaves. If it happens to be a hot, dry summer like we had a couple of years ago, it can disappear altogether. But as it goes through that spring period, it sets up those crown buds, and sometimes then if we get heavy rains later in the season, it'll actually regrow in the fall. If it's come up, done its thing, you've done a normal harvest. I wouldn't recommend that you do too much harvesting in the fall, but if it starts to go down in midsummer, I don't typically worry about it too much.
Consider almost a dormancy.
Well, it's kind of a seasonal thing.
Yes.
It's a fairly early spring thing, and then if it gets into early summer, that's really what I would call the rhubarb season.
Right. Okay. I think we'll have our limit on 3 rhubarb.
I don't have any more.
Okay.
If they don't have any more.
They may, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you, Chuck. And now Jennifer.
Christine wants to know why it is that she planted flower bulbs 4 years ago, and for the first couple of years they bloomed fine, and now they're not blooming as much. She wants to know what to do. So the odds are, particularly if she's planted something like daffodils, they do tend to make new little bulbs each year, and they spread, so to speak, and once they get crowded, they won't bloom anymore. So what she can do at this time of year would be perfect. Dig those up and space them out, all those out further, put them about 6 to 8 inches apart, about 6 inches deep, and she should have some success next year.
Okay. So you might not think they're crowded, but if they're not flowering,
They
check it
probably
out.
are.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. And on to you, Phil.
One thing that I got so excited about fall armyworm being a tropical bug coming to visit us in mid-America, I forgot to say what to do about it. The insecticides that are effective are going to be spinosad, sold as Bonide Bug Beater. Yeah, that's the name. And it's an organic product and will work very well as any pyrethroids such as permethrin, sold as 8 insect spray and various others. But Victoria wrote in, and she's got a volunteer vine that grows on a wrought iron fence every year, and she's got these little yellowish insects that are all over them. The vine that she sent in is a climbing, vining milkweed, And what she's got are oleander aphids, which are cute little guys. They're beautiful, yellow with black little antennae and cornicles, which are the tailpipes on the back end and so on. Really, really cute as a button. But they will tend to build up. And other people that have, anybody that's growing milkweed such as butterfly weed or swamp milkweed or so on will have these very commonly as well. You can kind of put up with them for a while. You can control them with insecticidal soap spray, and this will knock them back and control them to a great extent.
So
They're not going to spread to other things other than milkweeds, unless she says she's in Urbana, so she doesn't live in Zone 7 where she's growing oleander outside. They will get the same aphid.
How interesting that it's oleander aphids, and yet we don't really.
Interestingly, though, is they're both feeding on plants that are toxic to us. That's kind of
That
neat.
is interesting. Okay, Phil, bugs are interesting.
Absolutely.
All right. And we've got some skeptical people on the other side of the table. All right, let's move along then and do another phone call from Michael. This time it's on line 5 and a tree question. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, I have a brother, Dwayne. Yes, what's
Yeah.
your question?
We have used to be Sergeant Crab in our front yard,
Okay.
and we had some unknowledgeable, quote-unquote, landscapers who came and trimmed it, not knowing what it was. So they hacked off all of the horizontal branches.
It's pretty well all of them.
Yeah, just, I cried. And after several more trimmings by other people who didn't know what it was, it is now kind of a bush tree, probably 12, 15 feet high, but it is producing, let's say, tennis ball size fruit that are beginning to turn red. And I was just wondering what happened, what's going on.
Jennifer is shaking her head, and
It's,
actually we all think
I-
no, but Jennifer, you can answer
Let's
this.
see if y'all agree. It sounds to me like it's from the suckering from the base underneath where the graft union is. So what you're getting is what the rootstock was, which is more than likely just a common crab apple, and it will produce what looks like apples. Where the Sergeant crab has much smaller crab apples, probably about the size of a marble. A regular crab apple can make almost apple-sized fruits on it, so it's very well that rootstock's taken over, which in that case it's not what you planted anymore.
It's not an ornamental. It's now
Well,
more of a fruiting.
Yeah.
and if you can find a tree person who knows what they're doing and can come and look at it, he would remove all the suckers from around the base, and if there's still any of the original trunk remaining, you could kind of deal with that over several years and hopefully get it back to that horizontal character. If all of the original Sergeant is gone, then you're kind of up the creek.
Yes, so you can actually make jams and jellies out of those crab apples, and it's really quite tasty. It's a light pink color, but it's not what you want, so I would say try to find the original. Okay, well, let's go on to another tree question, and this is Betsy on line 6. Hi, Betsy.
Hi. Yeah, my question is, I have some Formosa trees. They're seedlings, and I've got them in some pots, and they're probably about maybe 12 inches tall or a little more. And I'm wondering, should I leave them outside or should I bring them in
So it's
for
mimosa.
the winter?
So these are mimosa trees?
Mimosas, yes.
Okay. Well,
It depends how far north you are. In southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, they would survive outside. Any farther north than that, we get some that will survive in the central parts of those states. They typically freeze down to the ground, and with a winter like we had last winter, they normally freeze well under the ground. In other words, they die. Being a bonsai guy who keeps plants over the winter that are a little bit need a warmer place in this area all the time, you can overwinter those in a cold frame. You can do it once the leaves drop. You could do them in an unheated garage. Once those leaves are off, they do not need any sunlight until the spring when they start to put those leaves back on. Crawl spaces work well for that, this sort of thing. So you have to think in terms of what's the long-term likelihood of these, and if you've got trees that just aren't hardy in this part, where you live, then it might be a good idea to find a good friend who lives farther south and gift them to them, unless you're going to try to make a bunch of bonsai out of them or something like that, and still coddle them for the rest of your life, if not theirs.
Right. So anyway, it was a good question. She can enjoy them for a few years, and as long as you're interested in keeping them inside.
But don't bring them into the warm part.
Yeah,
of the
don't
house.
leave them
That's
inside where it stays warm. That will kill them. They need to have temperatures down.
Well,
They can go below freezing, but not to zero.
we are about at the end, so we thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.